Grand Rising Collective, Grand Rising, welcome to Mr. Mystical Tower. We just want to kind of drop a little quick video, kind of like a commentary or synopsis, you know what I mean, on this booklet. I thought was very interesting. Initially came out in 1962, if I'm not mistaken, right? But some of the statements in this booklet were very interesting to me, right? So I wanted to kind of bring a summary of some of the focal points that stood out to me. Some basically some notes that I put along with the main content, and I wanted to put this put this book up there in terms of the visual, so that whoever sees it, if you get a chance to come across it and you're interested from some of the statements and things that I share, then you're welcome to go look it up and look into it. So again, like this was just like some of the thoughts that came to me, and I basically just kind of coined it as a synopsis of the reality we live in, dealing with capitalism, and dealing with many of us having to like really sacrifice our principles and some like change the way our ethics, the way we move, because of the current circumstances we find ourselves in, right? But I just want to point on that it's like we say that this is just the way it is, but in reality, it's really not normal. You know what I'm saying? And for any of you tapped in and trying to figure out what's going on, why you feel stalemate or you're not really able to get into, like striving and continue to be consistent and striving. It's like some of us out there lose hope. You know what I'm saying? Some of us lose the will. I ain't gonna say lose hope, but lose the will at times. We get tired, but I wanted to touch on this concept of the group and individualism, and like basically how it was being in the medieval times, and the introduction of capitalism and what that meant, and the introduction of individualism that we see today. Like basically how the context evolved till today, right? But I'm not going to really go into the information age in terms of technology and all of that yet. That'll probably be a separate video. But I just want to say, like, really, the powers that be, the capitalists, they understood and they understand, from the standpoint of history, the influence of being in a group, right? Or being, attached to a group of people, having a certain type of culture and function. So that's why, like, the togetherness and the solidarity is not really promoted. It's promoted on a national level and on a state level to have allegiance to that, but not really have allegiance to the family as much. And you see where, like a lot of situations where etiquettes and manners are really missing in our young folks, right? And that's not really being pushed on in the media like that. It's kind of like a situation to where now it's like a anything goes type deal, and because to me that's what it looks like. You know what I mean? Like we are being blocked from being able to be socially expressive and happy, and and communicating with people, to where we're like a lot of us are feeling closed off and worried if we share certain information or whatever it is, because we know that something's not quite clear to us. And I really want to talk about this because this is affecting a lot of people, right? Myself included in the past, right? So in this book is a statement that says, in the long revolution in the Middle Ages, the word individual meant inseparable, right? So meaning previously, to describe an individual was to give an example of the group of which he or she was a member of, right? So this is an indication of how the language has changed, or the meanings has been changed, or has been presented to us differently, right? So in stating this, because the allegiance and the loyalty haven't been taken away from the family lineage, basically that spiritual inheritance or earth keeping and the healing, these type of knowledge, and basically having the time to be on the metaphysical level, because our ancestors was really keen on that, you know what I mean? And that's really because they had that, and they had the goodwill to interact with foreigners and people that they became rich and wealthy in many different ways, in ways that are not really only money describes, you know what I'm saying? But in the booklet, it continues, it says, we as a group became detached from all that was held sacred in nature and then sought to gain power and control nature. So that's a sort of like perversion, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like abusing abilities when there were like already etiquettes, and there were already ways that we're supposed to interact with our surroundings and society and people. And because the lens has been switched over to capitalism, you know what I'm saying, you have these laws of lesser degrees of these people who are only thinking about monetary and controlling things and overpower, right? As opposed to the substance of what an image or what object means. So that's a big deal. So there's a lot of trinkets and stuff being dangled around for like people who's really not paying attention. It's like that statement, like the low dangling fruit. You know what I mean? Most of the time, the low dangling fruit has a lot of rot on it, or like a lot of worms, so to speak, just as a parable, right? So it's like, but the people held on to that which was like high and pure, then it would be kind of like, it would be no confusion, because you can kind of see clearly whoever it is you're dealing with and what's going on. But it's a lot of like deception. You know what I mean? So kind of like moving on into like industrialism and capitalism, right? So like in the past, you know what I'm saying, like people used to work with tools and having like workmanship, you know what I mean? This requires like trade, right? And even though now people still work with tools, there's a lot of machines that do the work for us. You know, it's kind of where I'm going with this, right? So the tools were the servants of our hands, but now we're in a situation to where the machines demand that we serve them, and that we adjust our rhythm to the rhythm of the machine and the movement of the way the society is now. So we've been kind of stripped from, our own sort of personal sovereignty, because it says in the advent of industrialism, which was pioneered by capitalists, this meant that a special type of freedom in their mind, you know what I'm saying, like to get the people away from appreciating, the nature, appreciating the barter and trade system and being free in a real sense. It's like, these people, they wanted to basically say that man and nature should be controlled by them, the capitalists, and regulated with rules that they set. And that's pretty much what we're seeing today. You know what I mean? Anything natural, any natural way, it's basically like,